Good, Bruce, what do you think?
It's been a real productive area in the past.
Let's give it a shot. Looks
All
good
right.
to me. Hey, today we're fishing on the Potomac River, about 25 miles downstream of our nation's capital. A river that about 10 or 15 years ago they said was so polluted it rarely produced a fish. And today it's one of the most productive bass rivers in the country. So we hope we'll catch a few of those bass for you. Stay with us, we're gonna have a good show. I'm Hank Parker.
Also today, we'll travel deep into the woods of North Carolina, seeking one of the most cautious and elusive of all game animals, the wild turkey. And in just a moment.
So that's what we've caught today, the male fish.
Yeah.
And what they're actually doing is coming in here to spawn.
Right, they'll come in here and they're looking for spawning ground. They're feeding too.
15 degrees. Hey, today we're fishing with Dr. David Bashir, the man that's responsible for all the formulas that you see on the market today and probably brought more attention to the fact that fish have a sense of smell, and that's got probably as much or more to do with catching bass and color or lure selection, a lot of different things, don't you think?
That's right. Yeah, I'll agree with you.
Today we're going to see if we can't excite some sauger using a little scent, a jig, and a minnow, and staying in 32 foot of water out here in 10-degree weather.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The house needs painting, grass needs mowing. Where's he at?
Hi, this is Hank. Sorry I missed your call. Leave me your name and your number and I'll get back to you.
He's gone fishing.
Hank Parker's Outdoor Magazine, featuring the only sportsman to ever win the BASS Triple Crown, the Bassmasters Classic, BASS Angler of the Year, and Super Bass 4.
I'm talking on this telephone, Angie, but this is your husband. If you remember what I look like, I hadn't been home in so long. But I'm standing on the stage here looking out at about 1,000 people at Super Bass, and I just won the tournament. Who catches the fish?
Who catches the fish?
See what you've got.
It's a sauger.
That's what we're fishing for, huh?
That's right.
Hey, that little rig didn't get him. He got on the regular hook.
We got on the jig.
Well, that's a pretty fish. Gonna put him in live well?
Yeah. You ever eat sauger?
I've never eaten sauger.
Oh.
Matter of fact, I've only caught a very few sauger, and I've never caught a sauger when I was fishing for them.
Yeah.
Because this is the first time I've ever fished for them.
Have you ever eat walleye?
Yeah, I've eaten walleye.
They taste similar to walleye.
That fish was about 31 or 32 foot deep on his boat. Do you think we need to concentrate more on that depth? Because we've been in about 35 foot.
Well, we've had 2 or 3 hits right there. And I just mingle back and forth. That one's in what? 31?
About 32 feet.
Get a hit?
Yes, I did. 32 foot of water. That may be a magic depth, you think? There he is. Maybe the magic depth. Hey, man, this isn't bad. Looky. Yeah. Ha ha! I got him foul hooked.
You catch a lot of them like that on the...
How about that? I do have him foul hooked right in the belly. But I had him with the big hook rather than the little hooks, David.
Yeah, a lot of times you'll see a lot of these fish that we catch will be hooked on the outside. Them fish are feeding down on top of it. When you set the hook, it'll...
He's been feeding. He's got some minnows. Boy, they're pretty. They look just like a walleye almost. What's the real difference in the fish? There's not a lot of. Seems like he's not as head maybe not as big. Of course, I hadn't caught any walleye this small.
Well, that's a small sauger. You can get a walleye, you can get a sauger with a bigger head than that.
You got one?
No, but you got, on the dorsal fin, you got two spots on a walleye where you got a lot of little specks on that sauger. Right in here, the walleye will have a splotch, or maybe two splotches on it, whereas the sauger has got a lot of little specks, and the rest of it you can't tell any difference in.
Boy, they're both beautiful fish, aren't they?
They're both good eating fish.
I guarantee you that. That's why they say there's such a shortage of walleye. Nobody puts them back up there in Minnesota and Wisconsin. Why is it that your hands get so much colder when you're sauger fishing than when you're bass fishing?
Probably because it's about 15 degrees out here.
I knew there had to be a difference. David, while you're rigging that up, I want everybody at home to see your secret on this big sauger rig. What do you got? Of course, we put the little minnow on there and tip it in, but that trailer hook deal, that's neat.
Yeah, basically what we're fishing with is a 1-ounce jig. It's just a lead head. This is football shape. Some people use round ones in different shapes. And we're tipping it with a Tuffy minnow. Some people use shiners, but Tuffy stay on the hook a little bit better when you're bouncing the bottom. And then you got a trailer hook that's about 2 inches in length that's tied on to this jig. And you stick this trailer hook right in the end of the tail of the minnow. And
Is that just a little number 6 treble?
Right. And you just stick it right in. It's kind of hard to do with gloves on. You poke it right in. And then when the fish when the fish hits the bait, if he's just hitting the end of it, you'll catch a lot of your fish. The short strikes will be caught on this treble hook. That last fish there that you caught, I think it was caught on the main jig, but if they're just barely bumping it. Yeah.
I got him right there.
Yeah, you snubbed him. You can't count him.
I threw him back in the live well, that is. We need to get back. 32 foot of water seems to be magical. Whenever we saw breaking over there, I think these seagulls are going to check it out. You know, I hadn't seen many gulls on the lake today. What you got, David? Hey. You guys are pretty stingy with your sauger. You don't like to share much, do you?
No, get around the back of the boat and hide them. Yeah.
Looks like you'd let other people catch some.
That's good sauger there.
Hey, man. How about that?
Yeah, it might be a female there.
A trick, I guarantee it is. Look how fat it is.
Yeah.
Must be a trick to catching the bigger ones. You got to be good, huh?
Well,
I tell you what, you guys keep on sauger fishing, but I'm gonna drum fish a while. Look at this boy.
fun, aren't you?
Man, I'd much rather catch a drum and a sauger. Look at this. I'll teach you guys, if you'll listen, how to catch a drum. Look at him roll over. Hey, come here. I'll tell you what, there's nothing wrong with a good freshwater bonefish. A lot more talent. Boy, that's a honker there. There he is. I think I'm gonna keep him, have him mounted. David, it seems like in the last 5 or 6 years, ever since you introduced for the first time a formula or scent on the market, seems like everybody's fishing today, regardless of the species, is aware that fish smell and that smell plays a big factor in catching fish. And that's kind of new. How in the world did you ever discover that, or what made you get interested in the development of scent for fish?
Well, Hank, I used to fish. I say I used to fish a lot of tournaments. I don't fish tournaments anymore. Don't have the time. But I used to fish a lot of tournaments, and a tournament fisherman is looking for anything that'll help him catch fish. And I went up one night with a friend of mine up on Thames Ford.
Thames Ford Lake in Tennessee.
Thames Ford Lake in Tennessee, and said, "Come on up. We're catching smallmouth, and we're catching them at night." So I said, okay. So I go up and get in the boat with him, and we head off, and he says, "You better go get you a dozen spring lizards." And I said, "What?"
Live spring lizards.
Live spring lizards. He said, "You need to go get you a dozen spring lizards." And I said, "You got to be kidding me." He said, "No." He said, "You can't catch them unless you got the spring lizards." So I got out of the boat, went around to the dock, and they were $7.95 a dozen.
Good gracious.
And I said, I'm not going to pay $7.95 a dozen for spring lizards. And I had some two-tone gold and black lizards, plastic lizards in the boat. And I just went, got back in the boat, started out. He said, where's your spring lizards? I said, I didn't get any. They're $7.95 a dozen. He said, you're not having any of mine. We'd fished about an hour and a half. I had not had a hit. And from the time that I put on a live lizard for 1 hour, I caught 4 fish, and I had 2 other hits. Then I went back to the plastic, and he continued to fish the spring lizard, and he continued to catch fish. So I thought, well, it would really be neat, since, you know, I got a degree in pharmacy, if I could go back to the drugstore and mix up some stuff that would make my tournament bait act as if it had been sprayed with a solution. So,
Like it's a live bait.
In essence, I went back, and 4 years later, I was satisfied. So,
is that right?
Yeah, so that's how it come about, yeah.
Incredible. Cold as it is, and as cold as I am, I'm still not ready to go home. I could get hooked on this, sure enough.
There he is.
You got him?
Yep.
What have you got? Why you keep doing that to me?
Hey.
Oh, yeah, I got him.
one. Got a double. All right, now we got to go home.
Hey, you're not getting me out of here. I'm gonna stay till dark.
Don't
Boy, this
lose him
feels
now.
like
Let's
a better
get a double.
fish here. 50 foot of water, David. Hey, man, that's a better fish. All right.
How about that?
Huh?
How about that?
I think mine's bigger than yours.
Well, it probably is.
Oh, I got you by
2
2
ounces.
ounces. Shoot, yeah. Hey, we agreed on that, didn't we? Man, this is a lot of fun.
You
I
know,
set the hook on that one. I got him where you were supposed to, right in the upper lip with a big hook.
for wintertime fishing at 10, 15 degrees is not bad, is it?
Man, I tell you what, that's good to have a towel in the boat, though. And of course, you got on gloves. I took my gloves off. Hey, David, I really appreciate it. It's been great, buddy.
Hey, let's do it again.
Hey, it's my first time, but I guarantee you one thing, it won't be my last. I like it. Will I hit a buzz, mate?
Coming up next, wild turkey in the Carolina mountains. And still ahead,
All right, what you got there? What have you got?
No, look like a small one.
Hank and sidekick Bruce Lee are bass fishing on the Potomac River.
Legend has it the color setting new standards for small outboard performance is black. Mercury Phantom Black. Fast, one pull starting. Smooth, fuel-efficient power. Super slow, super quiet trolling. Features that make your fishing and boating a fun-filled, hassle-free experience. Head out with a legend. Head out with Phantom Black. Mercury Outboards. Put the legend behind you.
LCR 8000 from Humminbird, the liquid crystal recorder that makes charts obsolete. With features like totally automatic operation, total screen update, screen memory, and zoom and bottom lock with split screen viewing, the LCR 8000 does things charts can never do. Humminbird LCR 8000, the ultimate in fish finding technology.
There are 3 ways you can try moving closer to these fish. With a gas outboard, with a noisy electric, or with a quiet Minn Kota electric. To a fisherman, the choice is black and white. Minn Kota, the quiet power that catches fish.
Why do I use original fish formula? Simple. Fish formula contains an oil base that perfectly duplicates the natural visual discharge given off by shad, crayfish, and most everything game fish feed on. The scent and taste attractors in the formula stay on my lure and live bait longer and at greater depth. Original fish formula absolutely helps me catch more and bigger bass than any other species I fish for. I just don't go fishing without original fish formula.
Most of us know the turkey is a holiday bird, served at Thanksgiving and Christmas. But few Americans realize just how fascinating the history of the wild turkey really is. To the early Indian tribes, the turkey was nearly as important as the buffalo. It was so useful in so many ways. Not only was it eaten, of course, but its bones were used as needles for sewing, its quills used to fletch arrows, and some tribes even made clothing out of the bird's feathers. The wild turkey is considered one of the wariest of all game animals. It has extremely keen eyesight and hearing, and can seemingly pinpoint the exact location of sounds made half a mile away or more. These are the attributes that make the bird so exciting for hunters, since the slightest wrong move by a hunter usually eliminates his very chances to even see a bird. When the first colonists arrived in America, turkey populations covered most of the United States, Mexico, and parts of Canada. But over the next several centuries, the bird declined drastically due to overhunting and continual loss of habitat. Fortunately, thanks to positive changes in game management, the wild turkey was rescued from virtual extinction, and within 12 years, they had been restored to much of their original range.
You fish tidal water, do you always have a certain pattern, a certain technique that you fish, Bruce? When you like high tide, you fish one type like wood or pads, or do you just kind of have little areas?
Well, I like to center where I want to be around in low tide. 3 hours of the last 3 hours outgoing, the first 2 hours of incoming is where I expect to catch most of my fish. But if I've got to fish a high tide, I'd rather fish pads than hardwood. And I notice a lot of times out in the bays and docks and stuff, the tide does not seem to affect them as much on the docks.
Well, herring flying out across the lily pads, he's looking for something to eat.
Mm-hmm.
There he comes.
Nice one.
How about that? He was back in there, flipping an arm.
Nice one.
Boy, he was kind of in the open, Bruce. He wasn't really back in the thicker part of it. He was in a little alley there.
Did he jump right on it when he hit the water?
He got on it good, yeah. He really did. It didn't much more than touch the water. He had it. Oh, I put that hook through him too. I changed to a bigger hook after losing a couple fish. Made a difference.
Yeah, it did.
All right, that's what we're looking for. Like I say, he was kind of out in the open in a little alley there.
Look,
See that fish move there? Might be the place. Man, I love it. Hey, by the way, today we're fishing with Bruce Lee, the Angler of the Year for the VBFA last year and won several local tournaments here in the state of Virginia, a good friend of mine and a good, solid little fisherman. Bruce, I'm glad to have you with us today, and I want you to show us how to catch a fish up here on your home waters.
I'll do my best, but it might not be easy.
You know, every once in a while there comes a product that has a real practical benefit to the fisherman. And I'm proud to say that Quick Kick's that kind of a product. No bells or whistles, Quick Kick is just the most innovative improvement to the troll motor since the foot pedal itself. Quick Kick, when attached to your foot pedal, secures the pedal in place. This will allow you to travel at high speeds in rough water without fear of damage to your boat or your trolling motor. Yet, at the same time, pivot from side to side with just a simple kick of the foot. This will allow you to position your pedal without bending over and using your hands. And best of all, Quick Kick is available for any size troll motor and all types of boats, from aluminum to fiberglass.
When ordering, be sure to specify the model of your trolling motor. Call toll-free or send $22.95 plus $4 shipping to Hank Parker's Quick Kick, Denver, North Carolina.
Quick Kick will give you more time for the important things.
Go for it with Ryobi. Tough, dependable reels for any kind of fishing. There's never been a better reason to go fishing.
You're looking at the high-technology laser system Berkley uses to make trilene fishing line. The line that's stronger than the rest. The line Jack Chancellor fished to win the Bassmaster Classic. Mike Folkstead used to win the U.S. Open. The line that set over 1,000 world records in the past 2 years. And the line that guarantees satisfaction or your money back. Fish Trilene. Berkley Trilene. America's extra strong premium monofilament.
It's hard to believe a line that thin can be so strong.
Here's Hank with his tip of the week.
Not bad, how about that?
It's all right.
All right, all right.
See if I can pull one off out.
Hey, what we've done, we made a move. Our tide kind of ebbed on us in the pads, and the water quit moving. It got slow, so we've totally changed our pattern. Came out here and got on a dock pattern. What do you know? We scored.
Second
nice
cast.
fish, too. He wasn't as good as that one I lost in the pad.
No, heck no.
Tell you something else, when you're fishing these docks that are covered like this, the fish a lot of times will get all the way to the very back of them out of the shade, and you can swim that worm rather than throw that worm in there and just let it sink to the bottom. You can swim it all the way out. Use a worm with a lot of swimming action, just kind of swim it back to the boat, and a lot of times the fish will get it without having to fish so slow. You can fish much, much quicker like that and just as productive. You can cover the piers much faster.
If you'd like a printed copy of some of Hank's tips for the great outdoors, just write him at Hank Parker's Outdoor Magazine, Denver, North Carolina.
Bruce, I'll tell you what, we're hunting a beaver hut and can't see it. I think we'll wait a minute, that old beaver will show it to us. Yeah, I see the hut.
It's right up past that metal stake, I think, or wooden stake, whatever
There
it is.
goes the beaver. There he is. There you go. Oh, man.
There you go.
I got it good, Bruce.
There you go.
Oh, man. That's a good fish. He's right on that beaver hut.
Right on top of it.
That's a heck of a pattern. Just wait for a beaver to swim down the bank and go under the water. Fish right where the beaver's at. Oh, man.
That was a nice one. First
Pretty
I
nice
thought
fish. He was right on top of that beaver hut, right where that beaver.
he took you down into that stuff at
He
first,
did
didn't
it too.
he?
I thought
you
I had a giant.
had trouble
for a
getting him out.
Thought I had a giant for a second.
It's a healthy fish.
Nice fish, man. I put a hook in him too.
Ought to be more than one there.
Should be. It comes out pretty far. I see it here on the depth finder. I may be too close to it.
It was two here. It was two here.
I mean, not bad. He hit it hard too.
He nailed it.
Maybe more than that.
Stuck him right in the top of the jaw.
I hope. There's one more. Pretty good. That's probably the president on his way over to Camp David, or either he heard that we were here and he's coming over to see us. Hey, you know, I don't know about President Reagan, but Vice President Bush is quite a fisherman.
I've heard he is.
He came to the Classic last year. Matter of fact, he and Ray Scott, you know, the founder of Bass, they fished in Pine Bluff there.
Yeah, I read that.
But he really does. I talked to him about it for a pretty good while. He really enjoys fishing. He's done an awful lot for our fisheries as well. You know, the Dingell-Johnson Act that was passed, he had a lot to do with that as well. So he is a friend to the fishermen. Why do I use original fish formula? Simple. Fish formula contains an oil base that perfectly duplicates the natural visual discharge given off by shad, crayfish, and most everything game fish feed on. The scent and taste detractors in the formula stay on my lure and live bait longer and at greater depth. Original fish formula absolutely helps me catch more and bigger bass than any other species I fish for. I just don't go fishing without original fish formula.
Hank Parker's Outdoor Magazine is looking for kids. America's missing and exploited kids. If you believe you have information that could lead to the location and recovery of one of these missing children, please help. Call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, 1-800 843-LOST. Let's find America's kids.
At Ranger, safety has always been extremely important. As a pioneer in upright and level flotation, our safety standards are among the highest in the industry. Beneath the surface of every Ranger, quality construction and foam-filled cavities tell the whole story. Even with huge sections of the bow, floor, rails, and transom cut away, a Ranger boat remains very much afloat.
Ranger boats, we still build them one at a time.
Berkley makes a rod so sensitive you can feel a feather drop on the tip. It's called the Berkley Bionics, biomedically engineered to be the lightest, most sensitive graphite you've ever fished. Berkley scientists have taken you apart muscle by muscle, cast by cast, to build a rod that significantly reduces wrist and forearm fatigue. A 100% high-energy graphite that casts like the wind. A rod that makes every strike register as a solid jolt. And a rod that can make you a better fisherman. Berkley Bionics, the best performing graphite rod you've ever fished, or your money back.
Oh, man. Got him in the boat. How about that? Boy, it's quick when you hit him flipping in it.
You didn't give him a chance to get back in the water.
That's a pretty good fish there. You got a black spot on him. That's a Sam Rayburn bass. About half the big bass you catch at Sam Rayburn's got a black spot on him.
Got a spot on him?
Whew. I tell you what, fish are still in here. We came back, check them again. Boy, I can't believe where I put that one. That hook
Not
is
as quick
in.
as you hit him, you shouldn't have got it, did you?
I got it in. Pretty good.
He rolled right on it?
Yes, sir. I tell you what, Bruce, our time's run out, but I really appreciate you being with me today.
I've really enjoyed it, Hank. It's nice fishing with a professional.
Hey, thank you for being with me today. We did a little running around here on the Potomac River, trying to keep up with the tide, fished the docks, and then came back to the lily pads where we started off. Hope a few of the tips that we showed you today will pay off next time you have a chance to go fishing. Till next time, God bless you. I'm Hank Parker.
Sponsored by 100% high-energy graphite rods from Berkley Bionics. Fish Formula, we fool Mother Nature. Humminbird depth sounders. Mercury outboards, put the legend behind you. Minn Kota, quiet power catches fish. Ranger boats, we still build them one at a time. Ryobi, there's never been a better reason to go fishing. And Trilene, extra strong.
The house needs painting, the grass needs mowing. Where's he at?
Hank, this is Tom. You told me to call you when they're biting. They're biting.
Gone fishing.
Hey, your name's Bruce Lee. Do you know karate?
Very little. Everybody asks me that.